A few weeks ago, this product reveal took the tech industry by storm. A random Chinese guy by the name of Jesse Lyu, who nobody heard of, I had no idea who he is, suddenly announced this revolutionary AI device called the Rabbit R1. Jesse is the CEO and founder of Rabbit, and this device, the Rabbit R1, he shows that you can just talk to it and it can do a lot of things. For example, playing music on Spotify, ordering a pizza, ordering an Uber, booking a flight and planning your vacation, plus scanning data tables and formatting data for you, all from just talking to the device. Now, you'd expect that one of the tech giants, like Apple or Microsoft, to announce such a potentially revolutionary AI device. But no, it's not Elon or Sam Altman or Sundar who announced this, but a random Chinese guy who nobody knows about with a company that nobody knows about. So I did some research on who this guy is. I looked at his background, his story, what he was doing before Rabbit, and how did he get to where he is today. Along the way, I discovered that he's actually a world-class Warcraft player. He's also an avid music producer with a super dope studio. He's a semi-professional Lamborghini racer, and a lot more. Before I did this video, I was a bit skeptical. Is this guy legit? Does he have what it takes to build a revolutionary AI device? But after making this video, after looking into the background of Jesse, I became a fan. But enough about me. Here's the untold story of Jesse Lyu, founder and CEO of Rabbit. Now, before we start from the very beginning of his life, I want to play you this video from 9 years ago.
Hi, I'm Jesse.
Hi, I'm Ray.
I'm Yiming.
We are Raven Tech.
We think the current app-based operating system has become increasingly difficult to use.
I have 8 pages of apps, which is impossible to organize.
To solve a simple scenario like arranging a dinner with my friend, I'll need to switch between so many apps, from pinging each other to find a restaurant, check time availability, book a table, or even navigation. So we built Project Flow, a voice-based search engine and operation system prototype.
We link Flow with all the third-party APIs, which means you can get a one-stop solution for all. Just talk and you'll get all the data you need, and you can feel free to share it with your friend dynamically and seamlessly.
It's far better than Siri does.
We invented the architecture we call shell-free to eliminate the interactive and data boundaries. In that way, you'll be able to track and build full behavior data. We believe that with the integration of latest tech trends such as NLU, neural and bioscience, Project Flow will be your best choice for next generation OS.
So they built Raven Tech. Their project was called Project Flow, a voice-based search engine and operating system where a user can just talk to it and it would execute tasks for you. Notice the very close resemblance between what they described and the Rabbit R1, which he unveiled 9 years later. Now, this video was back in 2014, way before there were powerful large language models like ChatGPT. You can't talk to an AI and have a conversation like you would today. But they were already way ahead of their time, and they were building this voice-based operating system where you can just talk to it to complete tasks. But let's first jump back to the very beginning of Jesse's life. Jesse's Chinese name is
Lyu Cheng.
Lyu is his surname, and Cheng means to gallop, like a horse galloping. And boy did he gallop through life, as we will see later. Jesse was born in 1990 in Xi'an, China. He started learning piano and programming at the age of 6. During the first 3 to 4 years of learning piano, his piano teacher told him not to worry. Play melodic music and don't rush to take exams or participate in competitions. Never play the piano in front of others. Playing the piano is a way of communication, not a utilitarian performance. Jesse says, "My piano teacher has taught me since I was a child that music is a kind of communication, not a performance. It's a way of life, not a skill." This has largely established my understanding of music. Music represents people's understanding and interpretation of the world. At a very early age, Jesse came in contact with music and was taught that music was a form of expression and communication. And this actually forms an important piece of his life and philosophy, as we will learn later. Other than that, there's not much info about his childhood or his family background. In high school, he went to Singapore as an exchange student. Then he got accepted to the University of Liverpool in the UK, where he studied financial mathematics. You can see from his Weibo, which is a popular blogging platform in China, that he's an avid fan of football, especially the Liverpool team. Here he's celebrating Liverpool winning the Premier League championship in the 2019 to 2020 season. Here he's sharing a post about the retirement of Fernando Torres, who was also once part of the Liverpool team. He used to be obsessed with video games, and he joined the Worldcraft semi-professional team and eventually led the team to the global finals. This is not an uncommon trait among successful tech entrepreneurs, to be obsessed with gaming, and some of them are actually top-ranked in the world. For example, Travis Kalanick, CEO of Uber, actually held the world's second highest score for Wii Tennis. In 2013, at the age of 23, he built his first startup, which was a Facebook app called Time Meet. It was used for college students to match timetables and schedule meetups. Time Meet helps identify common available time between them, so they would know when's a good time to organize events with each other. A user can check public timetables of their friends and see upcoming events in the next several hours, and then click on one to join if they would like to. It quickly became popular in British universities. After graduating from university, he gave up many graduate offers from prestigious universities and returned to China to start his own business, called Raventech. This was the Raventech they talked about earlier in this video. They received a multi-million-dollar angel round of funding from Zenfund and Matrix Partners China, one of China's leading VC firms focused on early-stage startups. 1 year later, in 2015, Jesse's team at Raventech got accepted into the winter 2015 batch of Y Combinator. And if you're not familiar with Y Combinator, this is the leading startup accelerator in the world. Many of the big tech companies that you're familiar with came from YC. This includes Stripe, Airbnb, OpenSea, Twitch, and a lot more. Plus, Sam Altman, now the CEO of OpenAI, was actually president of Y Combinator before starting OpenAI. So you need to have a very impressive idea or product to be accepted into Y Combinator. In fact, Raventech was the only Chinese team to get accepted into this batch. Also in 2015, Jesse was selected as one of Forbes' 30 entrepreneurs under 30 in China, as you can see here. Funny enough, just 1 year after this, in 2016, Jesse was selected again, this time in the Forbes 30 under 30 Asia consumer tech category, as you can see here. So remember, at a very early age, Jesse learned piano. He learned to view music as a form of expression and communication. Well, during this time at YC, not only did they work on Project Flow, which is a voice-based operating system, they also created this music player app, which is called Music Flow, or Le Liu in Chinese. The app is discontinued today, so you can't find it on the App Store. However, after digging into some really old articles, the app was quite a success during launch. It reached the top 50 in the App Store only 30 hours after being launched. Then it entered the top 20 60 hours after being launched. Now this Music Flow is a very minimalist music player. Unlike most music players that have dozens of functions, Music Flow only has 4 simple functions. Press and hold on the screen to say a sentence. It can be like the name of a song or an artist or pretty much any sentence. And it would kind of analyze what you're saying and then start playing the song. The next function is to just swipe left to pause, swipe down to switch the song, and swipe up to share. That's it. 4 functions. There's no song rankings, there's no fast forward, there's no previous button, there are no playlists. Just a very minimalist music player. So they launched this app and it was a success, but their main focus was still on Project Flow, this voice-based operating system. So they kept working on this, and then fast forward to February 16th of 2017, they were acquired by Baidu. And if you haven't heard of Baidu, it's a tech giant in China. It's basically the Google of China. Now, I couldn't find any details on what amount they were acquired for. It's a private transaction, but I'm guessing in the tens of millions, if not over 100 million. So after the acquisition, Jesse joined Baidu as the general manager of the Baidu Smart Hardware department. A bit over 1 year after that, in July of 2018, Jesse resigned from Baidu. At the end of 2018, Jesse founded RCT Studio, headquartered in LA, California. He partnered with the same team at Raven Technology. In 2019, the team again got accepted into the winter 2019 batch of Y Combinator. Again, your product or idea has to be really damn good to get into YC. This is the world's top startup incubator. You can see that RCT is providing AI solutions to the game industry and building the true metaverse with AI-generated content. By using cutting-edge technologies, especially deep learning and reinforcement learning, RCT AI creates a truly dynamic and intelligent user experience, both on the consumer's side and the production side. And it seems like they are still alive today, so here's their website. 2 years later, they closed their Series A funding, and then 1 year later, they raised an additional $10 million in funding. Just looking at their public info on LinkedIn, it seems they have 200 to 500 employees, but there's not much info about them or their status right now. On their LinkedIn, it says we build metaverse with AI, but I'm sure we all know how popular and successful the metaverse is. So yeah, I couldn't find any more information about them. It looks like they're still surviving, but not much else. Now remember, in 2014, he wanted to build Project Flow, an operating system that is voice-based. You can just talk to it and it would do things for you. That idea had always been at the back of his mind. He had never given up on this idea. So a year later, in 2020, he started Rabbit, which we'll talk about in a second. At the same time, he also became board member of Teenage Engineering. Now, what on earth is Teenage Engineering, and why or how did he become a board member? Well, it turns out Jesse is huge into music production. He loves music. He puts on his LinkedIn profile that he is a music producer and a vintage synth collector. If you check out his personal site, here's his studio. Look at all these keyboards and synths and pads, and look at the beautiful ceiling and just the overall design of the studio. It is badass. And again, this stems from his upbringing where he learned piano and he learned to appreciate music as a form of interaction, as a form of communication and expression. So Jesse had always been passionate about music and music production. Here are a few shorts of him playing around with the synths and just mashing up cool audio. Alright, so Jesse is a pretty baller music producer and synth collector. How does this tie in with Teenage Engineering? Well, Teenage Engineering is a Swedish consumer electronics company that produces a lot of different synths. Their most popular one is the OP1, which is a portable synthesizer, sampler, and controller, which retails at over $2,000. And Jesse just loves the design of their synths and other products. And literally, he just decided, why don't I cold call them and learn more about them? So he cold emails the CEO of Teenage Engineering, and here's what he had to say about it.
So I literally just cold email, reach out, and 3 days later, I sit in Stockholm at their office, and then Jasper works in. Jasper is the CEO and co-founder of Teenage, and we both had an iPad and a pencil. And we started to draw things. And during that process, he asked me about, what's your favorite artist? What's your favorite car design? And a couple questions, like vibe check questions, right? And it's quite surprising to me that we have the exact same taste on almost everything. Like all the questions he asked, he showed me his vinyl collection. I showed him my vinyl collection. It was exactly the same band in the same sequence, and he said, I love this and I love that. And we talk about a couple of the things. So they're like, okay, let's do this. The whole process is like magic.
So he cold emails the CEO of Teenage Engineering. It turns out they have very similar tastes. They immediately hit it off, and eventually he became board member of Teenage Engineering. Now, moving to the project that we are most familiar with, Rabbit. He started this in 2020. Right now, it's January of 2024. They were working on this for 4 years. They were training the AI, building the software, building the hardware, designing it with Teenage Engineering, and they were just hacking at this thing in stealth for 4 years. Fast forward to January of 2024, their Rabbit R1 device was finally ready to be announced. So Jesse announces this device, and it took the industry by storm. Here are some of the highlights of the keynote.
Our mission is to create the simplest computer, something so intuitive that you don't need to learn how to use it. This is the Rabbit R1. Designed in collaboration with Teenage Engineering, the R1 is a fully standalone device, primarily driven by natural language. I can ask Rabbit for anything, just like if I'm using ChatGPT. The difference, though, is the speed. With Rabbit OS, I get a response 10 times faster than most of the voice AI projects. Rabbit answers my questions within 500 milliseconds. Now, let's give it a shot. What's the nature of the reality?
The nature of reality is a topic that has captivated the minds of philosophers and thinkers throughout history.
What's the stock price of Coca-Cola?
Searching for the stock price of Coca-Cola. The stock price of Coca-Cola, KO, is $59.76.
Now, let's play some music. Play Kraftwerk's Pocket Calculator.
Playing Pocket Calculator by Kraftwerk for you.
Play another song from the album.
Sure, playing Computer Love for you.
Get me a ride from my office to home now.
Of course, I will book an Uber ride for you from your office to your home. Please confirm the ride.
I have 6 people with 3 luggages. Find me an Uber that can fit all of us.
For 6 people and 3 pieces of luggage, I recommend booking an Uber XL, as it provides ample space for all passengers and luggage. Please confirm the ride.
The ride shows up, I just hit confirm, Uber's on my way. I can also use R1 to order food. Get me a 12-inch pizza from Pizza Hut delivered to here. The most ordered option on the app is fine.
Ordering a 12-inch pizza from Pizza Hut. Since you mentioned that the most ordered option is fine, I will select that for you. I just created an order for a 12-inch pizza. It's going to be hand-tossed with a classic marinara sauce and topped with regular cheese. Please confirm your order.
That sounds really good. I just confirmed the order here. Now I'm waiting for my pizza. Can you create an additional column that matches candidates who mentioned rabbit in their questions about how they found us?
Sure. Let me take a look at the table and add the matching column for you. I've processed the table and sent you an email with the result.
And this took the industry by storm. Nobody has seen such a device before where you can just talk to it and it can order a pizza for you, book an Uber, format data tables for you, and do a lot of other tasks which would otherwise take a lot of time and multiple steps to complete. So this was revolutionary if what he claims is true. And so naturally, the response of people from this was quite bipolar. Could this be the next iPhone and eventually replace our smartphones? Or was this just an overhyped gadget that doesn't really work properly? In any case, this unveiling got a lot of attention, and they sold out their pre-orders almost instantly. They were selling out 10,000 devices per day. So that was back in January 11th, 2024. Right now, we are at the end of January and the end of the story of Jesse Lyu. In hindsight, I don't think the title of this video should be called The Story of Jesse, but instead The Start of Jesse. This is just the beginning, and he still has a long journey ahead. With proper execution and enough luck, he could take the rabbit to become the next tech unicorn. He has gotten into Forbes 30 Under 30 twice, he's gotten into YC twice, plus he successfully built a tech company and sold it to Baidu, the Google of China. He has the potential to do this. But can he pull it off and create a world-changing product that changes the way we interact with our devices? Only time will tell. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Jesse and what you think of the Rabbit R1. And if you watched up to now, I actually have some bad news for you. This video is not free. The fee is, you just need to gently touch that subscribe button. That's all you need to do. Also, we built a site where you can find AI tools for whatever you need. Check it out at ai-search.io.